Today we're looking at Monster Energy Supercross 1, competitive racing game with motocross bikes. I initially believed it was only supposed to be an advertisement product for the Monster Energy brand, but the game is actually based on the 2017 real-life AMA Monster Energy Supercross series. Supercross 1 was apparently so successful that it transformed into an annual release game series, and Supercross 1 was also a PlayStation Plus game in December of 2019. In all honesty, this is actually the only reason I played the game, because I found it hidden inside my PlayStation Network pile of shame. Monster Energy Supercross mainly consists of 3 different parts. There's the single player, which includes a career mode, custom championships, single races and time trials. The career mode is okay, but lags a bit in the presentation department. You can choose sponsors for your driver and there are short cutscenes if you finish a race on the podium. Apart from that, however, there are only static menus and races themselves. I did enjoy racing in all 3 championships, but the career mode was overall too simplistic and not very engaging. You, however, have to give it credit for including all the official tracks of the 2017 championships. Then there's online multiplayer, which can be quite entertaining. You can race on official or custom maps and drive short championships. I encountered a decent mix of new and very veteran players, which left most races rather balanced, but experiences could of course vary. There's still around 5 to 10 different players competing in online races whenever I was looking. This may not sound overly impressive, but you will at least get races going, which certainly not every older game can claim. That is, if you can call a 2017 game old already. Unfortunately, there's no offline split screen mode in the game, which is in my opinion always a big letdown in a racing game. The third pillar of the game is the quite handy track editor. There's a good variety of different track elements available and players can live out their creative dreams and design their favorite courses. These courses can be uploaded and shared with other players or be used for custom multiplayer races. Overall, the editor is a really nice feature and has helped to extend the game's longevity. So let's talk about probably the most important aspect of nearly every game: the gameplay. Monster Energy creates through its tracks and movement a real motocross feeling, or at least what I would assume to be a motocross feeling. I've never been watching the sport in real life, but the gameplay is surprisingly entertaining, and the bikes driving on dirt and sand move differently than in racing games on asphalt racetracks. This definitely takes a little getting used to, but once it clicks, you can really enjoy most of the races. I say most of the races, because the physics and movement can, despite generally doing a decent to good job, sometimes get unpredictable and extremely frustrating. In one instance, you simply bump over a track limiting obstacle like it would be nothing. On other occasions, those tiny objects can make your bike come to a complete stop, or you ricochet from them in ways that defy most laws of physics. The camera will also sometimes quit its job and just move into the driver, who's jumping at a meter behind yours. Apart from the gameplay, the aspect I most enjoyed about the game was probably the atmosphere of Monster Energy Supercross. The visual design of both the tracks as well as the drivers, the surroundings and even the UI, which is held in a very fitting Monster Energy green, is really immersive and always made me feel like I'm part of the action. Despite not being able to verify myself, I even heard a noticeable amount of people preferring the visual style and atmosphere of Monster Energy Supercross 1 over all of its successor games. Monster Energy Supercross delivers an entertaining motocross experience. The physics and movement can in some races leave you really frustrated, but generally the good outweighed the negative in the gameplay department. Overall, the game was more enjoyable than I would have guessed. But it is also not going to be part of my top 10 racing games. If you're interested in the motocross experience, then this might be the game for you. Just don't expect to find more than a handful of active online races. I ultimately give this game a 7.3 out of 10. In this sense, thanks for watching the video, and I hope to see you in the next one.